I'm Andrew Motuella, the founder of The Good Life Abroad. While many people travel with The Good Life Abroad to live in Europe for a month or two as sort of an extended travel experience, many of our community members also use their time with The Good Life Abroad to do research while they're considering moving permanently or relocating to another country in Europe. That's why I'm here today with Josh Polanco, an American realtor living here in Portugal, helping Americans who want to relocate here to Portugal, helping them obtain residency, purchase property. Josh is the one-stop shop for making your dreams of relocating to Portugal a reality.
Tell us about your work and specifically the services you offer in Lisbon.
Sure, yeah. I started a business here called Josh in Lisbon, and I help people with the very first process of obtaining a visa and then residency. I work with some great immigration attorney lawyers here, and they help with that process. One of the things when you're getting a visa is that you have to have accommodation. So when you're applying, you either have to have a 1-year lease or a deed that you're including with that application. And so for me, that's where I also come into play with the real estate side, with helping people find a rental or buying a house.
Tell us a little bit about the Golden Visa program and how it's changed and the current status of it today for people who are thinking about moving to Portugal to get a Portuguese passport and citizenship.
Golden Visa has changed. A lot of people still think that you can obtain a Golden Visa after having residency here by purchasing real estate. That is what changed in the past few years. Now the Golden Visa program is based off of investment. So you can afford donation. The investment is around 500,000, depending on what you're going into. The donation is around 250,000 euros that you would be bringing into the country of Portugal. And at that time, you would be a resident. Again, all of these things you'd want to do through an immigration attorney and a lawyer and that proper process. And in the sense of the time limits of the different visas, you're not restricted in the sense of how much time you have to spend in Portugal. So there's a nicety of that where you can still be, let's say, in the United States, a more free time, and then eventually plan your route to be living in Portugal at that time.
Many Americans are interested in moving to Portugal. Can you talk about the different cities and how they compare relative to each other?
Sure. Portugal's not a big country, right? It's pretty small. You have kind of north, the middle, and then the south of Portugal. The north, the biggest city is going to be Porto there, which is a beautiful city. It has a little bit different feel than kind of Lisbon here. The weather might be a little bit different there too. It's not as sunny, it's a little gray. I almost compare it to like San Francisco to LA or San Diego. And then you have the middle of the country, Lisbon, where we're at. This is the capital. You have a lot that's going on, a lot of energy. For me specifically, being almost 40, I find that it's a great place to have an outlet for me to have life and to also work. And then you have the Algarve, which is a really beautiful area, beautiful beaches, striking. It's a little more remote, so you definitely need a car and those kind of things if you were looking to live down there. But the beaches and the life is just really laid back and chill. Each place, what I would suggest is if you're coming to Portugal, to check out each and really see what fits your personality and your characteristics.
Can you give us a sense of housing prices in the different cities across Portugal?
On the rise here, right? There's a lot of expats that are interested in moving, not just from the United States, Canada, the UK, after Brexit. But the prices are still on the rise. We're seeing it kind of level off as some of these things is changing. But here in Portugal, and if you're looking for something that's like around a T2, a 2-bedroom, you're looking around 500,000 to 600,000 depending on the specs. But there's a lot of opportunity in the sense of real estate here that you can build up, that you could make your own, and there's beautiful construction that's occurring. There's also a lot of new developments that are occurring. In Porto, the prices are going to be a little bit lower than Lisbon, but there's been such a great a desire to live in those areas that they're higher around the same prices as say Lisbon. In the Algarve, you're going to have much more land, you might have a pool and those kind of opportunities, and the prices, depending on where you're at, if you're close to the ocean or not, could be a little bit lower. But there's also a great opportunity in the countryside, and that's where you see a lot of the lower prices. And you see some of these shows that people are building up barns and family farmhouses and those kind of things, and making it to their liking, which is a lot more affordable.
When it comes to Lisbon, what neighborhoods do you recommend for retirees?
Lisbon in itself is a pretty sprawling city, right? We call it the city of seven hills. But there's a lot of different neighborhoods that are here. Right now, we're in like one of the areas of Marcos Cambal. There's some cute little places that you can find apartments that are here. I love Campo Rico. That's a very flat area, so for someone that's retiring and wants to be able to have close like shops and have it all within reach, but not climbing all these hills, that's a wonderful area. I specifically live in Santos, which is a gentrified area. You have some amazing restaurants that are going on there, a new metro stop that's going to be there. And then there's another area that's just to the east of us called Avenida Chuloba. And there's been a big push for renovations there, some beautiful construction, and the same where it's a little more flat. But I think that the best thing is Lisbon is not huge. It's not like LA or New York or something like that. So if you come here, you can spend a few days just getting a really good view of what the city is like and figuring out the area you'd like to live.
Describe the process for obtaining residency in Portugal and approximately how much that will cost.
Yeah, residency. So you start with the visa application, and that would be for your home country. That's usually what it's recommended. Once you get your visa approved, which might take 4 to 5 months, then you would be moving to Portugal, and they have a time limit. They will stamp your passport. At that point, when you're here, you'll go for your residency permit application. Then you would get that card. That's good for 2 years. After that, you can renew, and that would allow you to be in Lisbon for another 3 years. At that point, then you're at the 5 years of where you could obtain citizenship. After you have your residency here, again, you have to have an application. You have to have accommodation, which would be a rental or a deed, and a few other documents like an FBI background check. In the sense of price, determining there's full service attorneys here that will do most of it for you, and then you could also work with some groups that like allow you to do the specifics, grabbing the FBI background check. You're talking about a few €1,000. Weirdly.
How did you end up in Portugal?
I've been in Lisbon for over a year and a half now. I took a sabbatical year in 2022, traveled to 18 countries, and didn't know I was moving to Portugal actually. It was when I got to Europe after being in Southeast Asia all summer that I came to some of Spain and Portugal and just really fell in love. I was working on my second master's degree in San Diego. We were neighbors at that time, and it was a program that really had me reflect on what my leadership skills were after that time like COVID. And one of my dreams after the bachelor's was to live overseas. And so after that travel experience, I went ahead and went forward with it.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your professional background?
Always been in outside sales. I used to be in pharmaceutical sales. Also, I was a field rep in Microsoft right after my bachelor's degree. So I love working with people. I enjoy creating relationships. And now this process of doing immigration and real estate goes in line with that.
What advice do you have for American retirees who are interested in moving to Portugal?
Well, I'd give the advice that you have to plan. But for example, what I was determined, okay, I want to live overseas. And so I just started those actions and process, right? And so it just takes a little bit of energy to go there. So I didn't know that I was moving to Portugal, but I wanted to just travel the world. And so that meant, downsizing a little bit of my life, figuring out where I wanted to be, doing that research of like, where could I see myself? And Portugal won after the long run of me traveling, but it's just kind of setting some things in motion, and you'll see once you do that small little step of your research and those kind of things, it all kind of falls in place.
Thanks so much for being with us today, Josh, and giving us some insight into how to relocate to Portugal. If people want to find you, if they're interested in moving to Portugal, what's the best way to find you?
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for meeting me in this beautiful setting. My Instagram and my YouTube is at Josh in Lisbon. Pretty easy. Also, if you want to write me, my email is josh@joshinlisbon.com.
Great. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you.